Hey everybody, it's Rob here. As many of you know, I've been farming a lot of Duriel, and I just wanted to show you real quick because I got the last unique here finally, which is the Barbarian Spear of Lycander that I'll be testing the next days and might also be very promising for Abattoir of Zir. So obviously I did most of these runs on my Barb, and we were really struggling to find the Melted Heart of Zir. Like we did multiple thousands of runs, but we finally got it. Yes! 5,000 runs in, boys! But only after we switched to all Sork, so sometimes you can get really messed up by the RNG that this has, and many people have basically come up with a bunch of different like tenfold head theories, like why that is, or like low-level characters have more drop chance or something. But to my experience, this is all copium. Like it literally doesn't matter. Obviously, some classes like the Barbarian cannot get the Spear of Lycander, for example, and some other classes like the Druid cannot get the Grandfather, so that is obvious. And I also think there is a slight difference in the drop chances, while Barbs have a slightly harder time getting Shaco because they have both the Grandfather and the Doombringer in the loot table. So that makes it a bit harder. I think it's like 1 in 300 to find a Shaco on Barb. While in other classes such as Sork, it's 1 in 250 because you only have 5 Uber Uniques in the pool. You can drop Shaco, you can drop Endariel, you can't drop Doombringer, you can't drop Grandfather, you can drop Sky, Melted Heart, and the Staff. So that's only 5, while Barb and Necro have 6 in their loot table. So if you're still missing a Shaco, maybe you want to consider playing on a Sorcerer or on a Druid for that matter. And even the Rogue only has Doombringer in the loot table, but has no Grandfather and has no Staff, so the Rogue also has a 1 in 250 for the Shaco. But yeah, this is like, I already salvaged some of my Uber Uniques. Like you guys might have seen me salvage a Grandfather. Like we were testing it very early on, like the second Grandfather that we... until we can see all buffs. There's too many buffs. Oh, 200 sword. There's no way! Grandfather! Let's go! That we got, we actually end up salvaging just to rip Grandfather, just to kind of see what would happen with it.
Just salvage your unique.
It basically gives you some mats, because this one was also the upgraded version.
Grandfather madness.
But
Look it.
it doesn't give you any transmog or anything. This was before. See, like the upgraded version gave me like Airful Fragments, Forgotten Souls, all that stuff, like if you salvage an Uber Unique. But you do not get the transmog or something, right?
It actually gave us a lot of mats. It's gone.
But yeah.
Oh no. Unethical salvage.
This was like very early on when they weren't like perfectly rolled all the time, right? But yeah, I also salvaged a couple Doom. I even salvaged a Doombringer, I think by mistake, because I was mistaken it with other Wrath. Yeah, it's gone. But yeah, this is like most of them that I kept.
My dude Rob, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking and the support. So basically, I salvaged quite a few of them, but I think on total we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we salvaged 2 Grandfathers, like early on, the weak worlds. So we actually ended up getting about 10 Grandfathers, and this was also my first Uber Unique, and obviously I did most of the runs on the Barb. And as I said, I couldn't get Melted Heart until I then switched on Sorcerer, and then I got like super lucky, and I got basically 2 Melted Hearts back to back. And then like a few runs later, we also got the Barbarian Spear of Lycander. So obviously it can be pretty discouraging if you don't find it. But if you go with some friends together and you farm the mats together and you get quadruple efficiency because you are like 4 players, everybody spends 1 set and gets 4 kills. That is the way to do it and to get a lot of efficiency out of it. And somebody on my Twitch also created this little meme here. So people who keep doing Duriel runs, they will eventually get it. And people who stop doing Duriel runs, they might be so close and not get it at all. So I just want to encourage you to keep going. Like, you know, the next run might just be the run that drops you that precious green helm and precious Shaco. Helm? Yes! Well, we were talking about it. Here it is, guys. Harlequin's Crest. Shaco. You just gotta keep doing it and yeah, play together with some friends. Divide the materials required by 4, so you have better odds of getting it. Obviously, I was very lucky and privileged that I had the help of so many of you guys, and also of so many of just like friends that basically farmed together with me. We were doing hell tides like every other hour for like days, especially in the early times where it was very hard to come by the shards. But we were lucky that we could trade these shards 1, 2, 3 very early on before there was the Seer buff. So we could trade 1 shard of agony versus 3x at a time, and obviously that helped out a lot. But also just having like the community and having the help and support of many people, sitting through like days and days of farming Duriel before we finally got the Melted Heart of Zir, before we finally could make the Immortal Barb. And yeah, I think it's gonna be, I mean, we don't know how hard the Abattoir of Zir is gonna be, but in particular I think items like Shaco and the Melted Heart, if the incoming damage in the new Abattoir of Zir endgame system is high, you definitely wanna be prepared. I know it's not feasible for everybody, but even if you have only like 1 or 2 of the Uber Uniques, like maybe you have a Shaco or even the Doombringer, like see here for example my life pool, I'm at 24k. If I equip Doombringer, I'm going up by like another 7k life. So there's a lot of extra stats that you can basically get from yeah, having these items. And who knows, there might be some secret techniques, like basically the Melted Heart was... apparently many people thought the amulet was bad. I was like pretty pumped for it since the start because I've already like played it many months ago. And I was like looking for this amulet ever since Diablo 4 came out, but it was basically impossible to find until now Season 2 introduced this kind of like target farming and being able to do Duriel runs here. And we basically confirmed that the drop rate is about 2%, so it will take you about 50 runs to get an Uber Unique and about 250 to get the Uber Unique that you want on average. It's never guaranteed, it might take you way longer. Like for me, it took me a couple of 1,000 runs before I even got the Melted Heart. But yeah, that was most likely just due to very bad RNG. So you can get unlucky, but you can also get very lucky and just get to the Uber Unique that you want very early on. But yeah, even if you have only 1 or 2 of these Uber Uniques, and you still have some time to get your hands on some, I think like another 10 days before the Abattoir of Zir comes out. And again, we don't even know if these will be like necessary or any required even. I really hope on the high end, yes, you will need some of these toughnesses, but like the early levels, I'm pretty sure everybody can manage, because the tier 1 of Abattoir of Zir is basically the equivalent of Nightmare Dungeon 100 right now. And I think a lot of builds and classes definitely can do this without having any of the Uber Uniques. But yeah, if you have some time and if you want to prepare for the new endgame, I highly encourage you, play some Duriel runs, gather your friends, do some hell tides, do some bounties, maybe try to trade shards versus eggs and try to find people in the community. There's lots of people doing runs, and yeah, good luck on your journey. And yeah, just don't give up, man. Keep going. The Shaco will be in the next run. Just believe it. Hope you enjoyed this little overview. And yeah, this is the total amounts of Uber Uniques that I've got. Plus I salvaged a few. Like, I think it's almost going to be an inventory's worth of them. But obviously I've done an ungodly amount of runs. And we'll see how it's going to go in the future, if they will do some further adjustments to some of the drop rates. Or even to the variants of how they can roll. Or even introduce new Uber Uniques into the game. Like, I don't know, the Stone of Jordan as a ring that gives you, similar to the Shaco, like ranks to all skills and maybe some resources or something like Stone of Jordan Uber Unique. I definitely want to experiment a bit with the Aharian, because if you can get a Conduit Pylon and like a, you know, even Protecton or like Blast Wave or Artillery Shrine in the Abattoir of Zir, it might just one-shot the boss, right? Like, we don't know, I will do similar that I did with Melted Heart. Basically, there is an Immortality build on Barb, there's an Immortality build on the Ballsaw. I'm going to put those in the description. I also figured out that there is an Immortality build on the Necro, because there is some Essence Generation items. I think there's one on the ring that gives you 170% after critting with Bone. And that one is actually double dipping, and it gives you a total of, it basically works like this, 2.7 times 2.7. So it basically gives you a total of 729, of 7.3 times X your Essence Generation. So there's definitely some tricks there on Necro as well. I'm pretty sure Druid and Rogue also have some way to utilize these amazing Uber Unique. But yeah, guys, keep going and good luck out there. Good luck hunting. Take care, my friends. GG. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.